And welcome back to ESL Pro League. We're about to get underway with our second matchup of the day. This time it is going to be the Turkish side of Space Soldiers facing off versus Heroic, Jake.
It is, Jack. And Space Soldiers, they've also already been in action today. Obviously trying to catch up with Hellraisers, who we saw earlier. But unfortunately for them, they won one and lost one. So the exact same as Hellraisers.
Which isn't a great position to be in, because obviously both of these sides were trying to climb their way up the ladder, just being able to basically stagnate now. They're at the same point. The refresh they have going into this is the potential to actually try and build from this, right? You can win your game here. If Hellraisers are able to win their matchup versus Windigo, again, the same storyline occurs. However, if one of these teams wins and the other one does actually take a loss, there is potential for a bit of a shuffle to occur. Yeah,
I'm not sure if that graphic was 100% accurate, because I believe Space Soldiers lost that second game versus AGO.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. Heroic, again, they looked all right in our first series. Had a reasonably nice comeback on Mirage there, just couldn't really close it out in the end. But there's positives to really take there. And yeah, I mean, both teams have a lot to play for going into this matchup, so it's going to be an interesting one, Jack.
There's going to be a lot on the line. Obviously, both sides really going to be fighting tooth and nail to try and get themselves an advantage here tonight, and they need that momentum to come through. The Polish side of AGO, they've been looking all right. Obviously, for them to take a map off Space Soldiers shows potentially there could be a dip in form at there at times, but you never really know. Space Soldiers, it's a hard team to ever justify if we see them on LAN or online, really what squad is going to show up, because at times they do look like a whole different team. And it's weird. It sort of seems to come down to how much focus Major has put on to that matchup, right, going into it. Because sometimes we see the amount of prep he does is outrageous. They can walk into a game versus a high-caliber opponent, know what to do, what counters are necessary, and a lot of nuances that will help them. But sometimes it feels almost as if the research isn't there, if it's someone that they feel like they should be beating, and that can come back to bite them on occasion. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we've both observed games where they're just running around in spawn, where they have absolutely no idea what's going on that T side. And it, like you said, it just looks like two different teams at times, but surely coming to the end of the season, the last 2 days, it's got to be the best that they have to offer, really. And I'd be surprised if we see otherwise.
Yeah, you really need to sort of step up to the mark, show your A game, and go all out. If they want to try and secure themselves a position and keep themselves locked in for the Turkish fans, big wins are what they require, right? Yeah. They started off today with 6 games left to be played. At this point now, we see 4 left to go. So 2 of them are going to be played out here. So they need to win. This series is incredibly important, because after this, they only have 1 matchup left. And I believe that is going to be played tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be. I believe every team's playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute slobber knocker across the entire season. You know, everyone playing it out. It's going to go right down to the wire for some of these games, it seems. But yeah, as you said, really important game here. They need to take this 2-0. They've already slipped up today, if we're honest, because AGO, out of the teams they're playing, that looks like where they should be getting most of their points from. And Hellraisers, they're going to be more than happy that one, Space Soldiers couldn't catch up with them.
Yeah.
And the game they won was when they had their coach standing in.
Which is quite ridiculous. If we have a look at the odds as well, see if potentially anything has been affected by that loss earlier today for Space Soldiers. And it's actually very even. Dead even, in fact. Which is quite crazy. You very rarely see the even odds.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's fair enough. Both teams are pretty well matched, I suppose. So it could be a very scrappy game once again. We've seen 2 go right down to the wire to 30 rounds. Could be on the cards again, Jack.
There is very much potential for that. If I'm honest, though, it feels like Heroic, they could be a little bit fatigued off the back of that. 60 rounds, fully played out, you know, it's going to be a bit draining, right? You win the first game, sure, that's going to try and carry over. Losing that second map, it potentially could sort of plague them a little bit, because, again, it's a 16-14 scoreline. Losing games that way, it does affect you. Even if you don't try and let it, it can carry over, especially when you're playing a series instantly after as well. Probably like, what, 10, 15 minutes downtime since our previous game?
Yeah, I suppose the one positive from that is that Space Soldiers have essentially done the exact same thing as you. They haven't had a comeback situation in that second map, fair enough, but they've both been playing this morning, and they've both gone 1-1 in their early series. So here we go on Dust2, all to play for.
Yeah, Dust2, a map that's actually going to be quite a spicy one potentially here, really, Jake, because we have seen at times Space Soldiers dominating or absolutely being dominated. To open it up, Xantares with a very aggressive ploy into the round, but it does not work well at all. They just crunch onto him. That is your mid player lost in a matter of seconds, so now they're just stuck with 2 players to each site. Yeah,
a bit overzealous there, if I'm honest, for Xantares. They're hung around just a bit too much in mid. Fair enough if you want to take that early fight, but the fact that Heroic have managed to burst out with 3 players and just absolutely demolish him, it's not good. And already they're just crunching on this A site. Mertz has somehow killed Freiburg.
Yeah.
So technically trades more or less even. But Heroic coming out on top here.
Bit of a weird one. Not too sure what actually even went down there, but the boost is going to be coming out. However, Paz has lost his noggin in a matter of seconds. Calix is trying to trade it back, but Calix will go down. Eliminated there by Asilian Jake, and Asilian doing an abundance of work there. 3 kills from him into the round, as he was able to eliminate quite a few players. Mertz as well, with a big impact. Just unfortunate that one of them was a team kill.
Yeah, nice start for Heroic. You know, you saw Xantares get shut down in mid early on, and they just decided to split A off that.
Ooh.
Nice attack from A long and A short at the same time, and here we go, they're just rushing out long. Taking a bit of early map control, forcing those CTs back. Slowing it down on top of that.
It's very fun to actually watch Mertz on the scout as well, because it's reminiscent of sort of the old school Chris J and the quite wide aggressive peaks he would take with a weapon.
Yeah.
So it always leads into some potentially interesting rounds. Already finding that first tag on Paz. Engin's going to be eliminated as well. If he can just carry on softening them up, Space Soldiers, they wouldn't have much sustain left by the time they actually found themselves into a late round situation here. And Mertz is the only one that's going to deal with them, Jake. So tags are key right now.
Ooh. Yeah, but he's happy enough. He's got all the information in the world. Ooh, picking him off with the P250. Sure, he only gets 1 frag, but they know the B-bomb site's completely open. I suppose Space Soldiers save the scout, but they're buying anyway next round, so if anything, it could hinder them if they decide to just keep the scout over a rifle, but not even going to happen. Freiburg just mows them all down. 4K for him.
That's what you want to hear. That goosh noise when you're hitting the headshots, getting you warmed up on the T side. Freiburg already starting to set the tempo. The scary factor is as well, pretty much historically, every time I've seen Space Soldiers, when they have a CT side start, if they don't get the initial rounds in their favor immediately, off of sort of the bold play we saw there with Xantares, right? They seem to try and go for those very early tempo plays to build themselves up. It does sort of fall to pieces. You can see him struggle on the CT side. T side, however, the team just has a complete transformation, and it does feel like it comes down to the AKs. When they can be proactive, Jake, they will just blow you out of the water, but into this round, they're not really doing too much whatsoever. Xantares is the only one that's really found a frag. Paz already has been taken down. You're left with a 3 versus 3 on the retake here, but you don't have too much utility. 3 flashbangs and 1 Molotov to help you out. And bear in mind, there's no kit.
Yeah, Mertz flashed into tunnels there. Asilian pushing out, just about gets the frag. He took him a while to realise where he was, and Modi with the fadeaway nade. Just a straight B rush coming in from Heroic there. Banking on the fact that Space Soldiers don't have the utility to just fight against a B rush. And, I mean, it's paid off terrifically. 3 rounds on the board for Heroic. Space Soldiers forced to eco. Lovely start to the game.
It's a good way to open it up. This could potentially be the 4th round achieved as well. It's the deco coming out from Space Soldiers. The full deco. Paz the only one that's actually going to invest into the armor. They've got 2 flashbangs. I'd prefer to actually see them potentially try and go for a bit of a shock and awe style play, rather than just play it out like a bit of a gun round here with the Deagles, but you can never really count them out. Turkish players do have a lot of firepower with these 50 cows in their hands.
Yep, Heroic. They're just splitting B, and they're doing it beautifully. Double smoke up in CT, so they don't get shot in the legs over the smoke. And it's just playing out perfectly so far. They haven't lost a single man. Modi's not even going to go down in tunnels. And a really strong start to this game. Heroic are here to play, Jack.
Yeah, Heroic are really starting to overthrow right now. And that is the scary factor, because they're already coming in hot, right? They've just played a game fresh in terms of both of these sides. However, for Space Soldiers, the CT side start, they're not the ones being proactive. And you can see that effects already. Just the early kills coming through. Modi starting to wake up a little bit going into this game. He's had a bit of a quiet series so far earlier on today, so hopefully this is the start of something new for him. And there's no casualties as well, so they're allowed to build the economy up. Heroic, if they keep on having these pretty tidy rounds, this could very well start to be a huge game for them on Dust2.
Yeah, I mean, they're all in this together, Jack. But it looks like Heroic are going to have to go their own way and take this game. I mean, Space Soldiers, they've only had one bye, so it's not all doom and gloom as of yet. But now is the time to really stamp your foot right back in this game before it gets out of hand.
And bear in mind, Space Soldiers, they suffered a loss earlier on today versus EGO on Dust2 already, so potentially having that memory fresh in their mind could be awkward. Jake Cassillion, though,
He hasn't taken any damage.
Talking about awkward, eventually gets his way out, but Engin is just going to remove him in a matter of seconds, as he will hit him quite aggressively there with the M4 smackdown. Control being taken as well, as you can see, extension coming out from Space Soldiers over towards tunnels. They're gaining that map control, and the push is coming back round, Jake.
Yeah, this is way more like it from Space Soldiers. More proactive. Modi does find the frag, but would be surprised if he even checks T-spawn for KaliX here. In a perfect position. There we go. 2 frags and the bomb.
Stuffy stuff. He can cast out the Molotov as well to ignite the path and slow down any potential shenanigans from the T side. Mert's going to rotate back around. It shrouded KaliX a little bit there, but it will not matter. He spots him out, realizes what's going on. Bear in mind, S-Tag's been able to just waltz out through mid and walk into the B site, Jake, and it's their domain now. So it's going to be a 3 versus 2 retake, but they've got free reign and all the time in the world to plant and just chill out.
Yeah, they flashed out S-Tag there, going for a bit more aggression, which you sort of have to do in a 3v2. And he's in a decent position that Zentaros would have to do well to check for. This could get a bit awkward for the CTs retaking here.
Ooh.
There we go, S-Tag got the frag. Mertz has picked up one of his own, and it's all on Major.
This is lovely. Mertz trying to find the kill as well. We have to eliminate Major. And that is a good defense towards the site. Mertz looking warm now. We saw him missing a couple of shots in the previous map. This time already starting off with a full frontal assault, being able to land those flicks and keeping himself looking confident.
To be honest, I'd actually have to question KaliX there. Although he got those first 2 initial kills and the bomb, I don't really see the need of having to push into tunnels himself to hold that. He opened himself up to getting picked off from Mertz. And from there, it was nice plays from Heroic to be proactive with their after-plant situation. And here they're just mowing down the eco once again.
Easy pickings into the round. KaliX once again trying to make the play over towards the upper tunnels. The nade should transfer a lot of damage on. Scrapes him down, but he'll somehow survive and have the confidence to fight back. Lands the shot, recovers the AK and the Molotov, but in reality it's only him and Paz that remain with no real firepower and no real chance. There's a ton of time left on the clock though, as the bomb hasn't gone down just yet, but it will now be planted towards the A site.
Yeah. They save that AK, fine. They're full buy next round anyway. But Space Soldiers, they need to get it together quickly, because this is going to just spiral out of control. Dust2 is a momentum map historically, and things can get ugly real quick. You see this become 6-0, 9-0, 12-0. Things just get scary for Space Soldiers, especially on your CT side. If you can't get going, it just feels so rough.
Yeah. They always have been more of a T-side team when it comes down to it across the board, really. And I think that is just because the raw firepower they have. They want to try and take the fights towards you. When they can't, they do start to stagnate a bit. And sometimes we see the potential confidence coming out from them utilized in weird ways.
It's only KaliX on more than 2 frags here for Space Soldiers, so everyone really has to get their heads in the game.
And here's what we see quite commonly. Major, obviously, he is the man that tends to try and make the plays with the AWPs. It's acceptable. I mean, he can normally wield it to a fairly high level at times, especially on Dust2 in the past. We've seen him actually be quite useful with a weapon, so he has picked up into this round. Could give them a little bit more of a tactical edge. He takes it over towards the B site initially into the round, but no one is testing him, Jake. They're all going towards mid, and they're pretty open right now.
Yeah, that was a really weird initial fight there from Mertz. Missed quite an easy shot, and he wasn't even blinded from that CT flash. So I don't know who's thrown that flash, but that was pretty terrible. But, like you said, no one falling in the round as of yet. 1 minute 15 on the clock. T's are grouping up towards A short here. Seems to be a play for them. The A execute probably coming into effect with, I'd assume, a late push from Freiburg coming up. A long there. Here we go. Wall of smoke's coming out on A short. Zantares getting cheeky.
Ooh.
Someone's watching it, yep. S-Tag, he's aware.
It's unfortunate. Major as well. No real opportunity to try and punish them towards the site. If they're not careful here, they could just get shot in the back as well. All they'd have to do is go for the peek out, and it seems like they're going to try and take the fight towards them. The last two Ts defending towards shorts. They can hold just towards the stairs here. It's a style round. Oh, losing Major, you can't help but think it's probably going to be the save, right?
Almost would consider the save at 5v4 at that point. You have no real way to get in. Sure, the Ts only really have sight and aid short, but at that point, you've already wasted so much time. But a lovely round coming in from Heroic. That execute was done perfectly. Everyone had their role. Someone was specifically watching for Zantares to push around that smoke, and he's been punished for it. And Freiberg as well, he's hunting.
The more frags they can get here, the more awful this is going to be for Space Soldiers.
Interesting from Zillion.
I don't know why he wouldn't just
he was trying to maybe just strafe around and be the distraction, but he got himself caught in the door. Needs a bit of KZ practice, potentially. And the loss bonus is coming in for Space Soldiers, so they can scrap together another nice full buy. But again, 7-0 already for Heroic, and Space Soldiers do not look like they're even challenging them at this point. Looks easy for them.
It's weird. It's become one of these maps where I don't really feel like it's favourable to even play Dust2 anymore for Space Soldiers, because a lot of the time, Jake, they struggle so heavily on their CT side, they just can't win these games. And
wow.
This sort of aggression's coming out.
Yeah, you can see the full confidence. Two of those players have just run straight from suicide all the way up A short. They've caught Major with his pants down before he can even get in position. And they're just on an absolute tear here, Jack.
It's crazy. Kaliak's the only one with frags to his name.
Yeah.
Everyone else on 1 kill. It is just quite bizarre.
Lovely flashes. But it just goes to show, I mean, Heroic have the perfect game plan in mind. They're executing it to perfection. And they're playing like a extremely strong unit here. Meanwhile, Space Soldiers, lackluster is the word I'd say, Jack.
It just feels like they have sort of really struggled on this map in the past, quite a lot now. And it's not even becoming sometimes where it will be hit and miss, and we'll see sort of, you know, these rounds occur sometimes. They always seem to go down such a huge lead when they're on that CT side. It takes them so much to try and bring it back. Eventually, it seems like there's some point where they kind of snap out of it on the T side, right? Major seems to be calling more proactively again. They start micromanaging things, and it starts working. But it's so weird that they still have these games where the whole squad just looks lifeless.
Yeah. You're 8-0 down, you still haven't called your first pause either.
Exactly.
So, God knows what's even going on in that team speed. Kaliak's going for the desperation play through the smoke. Does get one. And they're going straight through it again. Zantares gets punished. And once again, seems like a clean mop-up. Modi coming in from short. Solidifying the round for them, surely. Go. All on Paz. Again, Kaliak is the only one to get a kill. So the rest of them, well, those three are still on 1. Engine still, he's trying. The little engine that could. But he can't at the moment, and neither can Space Soldiers. No. 9-0.
This is so rough. I mean, at least they've got that loss bonus, so they can still get the buy-up. This time, Zantares will also be picking up the secondary orb. He's going to try and take the fight. He'll hold towards mid, being a bit more proactive with it. I haven't really seen Major trying to take those peaks into this matchup. Zantares will actually find a frag as well. So finally, someone will contest and eliminate Mertz in the initial round. The flick as well from Zantares, Jake. Maybe the man started to wake up and the beast will come back.
Going for the boost over the smoke here. Oh, no. He's been caught in the light. Nice idea. Kaliak should mow them down. Doesn't look like they're going to check him. Ooh, just about got that second frag, but Zantares coming in with the 3K. That's the change they needed. And that's the man they needed to step up. Pause coming in. Would be surprised if it's Space Soldiers, and it's not. It's Heroic. Once again, being sensible. They've lost that one round, fine. They've realised Zantares has picked up the AWP now, so surely they just have to discuss how they're going to deal with that. It looked a bit more careless there from Mertz. Almost smooth just running down mid on his own. So it didn't seem like they were expecting that.
I think it's potentially as well because from what we've seen in the past with Space Soldiers, good majority of the time, it does take a lot before Xantaras will really sort of force the issue with that secondary orb, right? Major tends to play that CT angle a lot of the time, and he'll always really sort of force the fight. Sometimes there has been mistakes made where he'll go for really an over-exaggerated peak you're not going to hit. So
Sure.
Xantaras, is he going to keep on the orb? Huge round. You don't really want to see him coming off it. He will keep by.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Heroic revert back to something akin to what we saw before. A smokes, shut that orb straight out the game. Don't even give him chances to get involved. But however, it does look like T's just taking mid control, and yet they are going to take A short. Major holding the shocks angle with the orb, going to get flashed off. Nice timing from the T's, not getting caught. Nice nade.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a huge nade.
Dome's a Cillian. Xantaras gets the info as well, and the kill on Modi. Bit careless, really, from Heroic in mid there.
Essentially forgetting what Xantaras just did to him into the prior round, so they give him an opportunity once again. Not something you really want to do. Major is prepared for this as well. He's got the flash pulled.
A lot of aggression throughout the map for Space Soldiers. They've taken B tunnels and engines aggressing on A short. They should be able to catch a Cillian off here. No, Xantaras does it for them. And there we go. The backstab comes in. Much nicer from Space Soldiers, finally. They're being proactive, taking that map control, even though they've got the advantage. And Heroic just caught with their pants down. It looked quite odd in mid. The fact that they just didn't seem to care that Xantaras could be lurking around there. And he picked them off easily enough, so... Not sure what that pause really achieved for Heroic so far. Mert's not able to hit this shot so far.
Oh, he's been struggling trying to gap people as they go for the cross.
Here we go. The aggression's coming again from Heroic there, but Major's been boosted up, so he's there much quicker than they are. And Space Soldiers, I mean, they're tearing them to shreds at the moment, Jack.
Yeah, this is a whole lot better. Space Soldiers back with confidence. Modi, it looked like he would have spotted out the head of the play. Yeah,
didn't react at all. Should see the shadow. But everyone else has fallen, so it doesn't matter. 3 really quick rounds in succession for Space Soldiers, and yeah, pause coming in for Heroic, and they need to get a handle on this before it falls completely out of their grasp. You don't want to be ending this half 9-6.
Not off the back of the lead you had as well, considering the fact it was 9 rounds on the trot. To lose 3 in rapid succession back-to-back just off the sheer performance that's starting to come out. That round as well wasn't even just the Xantaras show, that was the whole team, nearly the team ace coming through. And it's scary because this is when Space Soldiers are playing better, when we're seeing the short boost coming out, when we're seeing them actually try and force the play. They're not just sitting there waiting for the burst to come out and then folding under the pressure. They're actively denying entry for Heroic.
Like we saw that exact same round a few rounds ago. The only difference was Major ran himself over towards A short, and he got caught out from that fast play from those 2 T players. However, they're changing things up, going towards A long now as a 4, as a 3 even. Space Soldiers already pushed back towards A site, not even taking the fight. Major's just going to scope up towards site or the barrels. Site, it seems. And it's going to be on Mertz, really, to answer him. He hasn't had a super hot game so far. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get involved here. Already Xantaras, though.
It's rough for Mertz, because it felt like initially going into the game, right, he had a lot of confidence. As soon as Xantaras started slapping him with the orb, he's pretty much dropped off completely. And this is just a shooting range, Jake. 1 by 1, they're peeking out. There's no opportunity to do anything there at all. They're just gifting them the frags, and the backstab's coming around as well. So no matter what they do, this round isn't really going to go their way.
This is really peculiar. I mean, they just have no answer for this double AWP setup. But it feels weird as to why they're even giving Space Soldiers the chance to win these fights. Kaliek's coming in. This round's completely over. Freiburg's going to get 1 frag, but there's not really much he can do.
Gets a tag through the smoke. It's pretty much just about getting away at this point. And there's another man there. Paz will be ready, crouched, hunkered down, scoping it around. We'll get the kill as it goes 9-4. And the 9-6 you spoke about looks pretty likely now.
Yeah. I don't understand why they're not just playing it slower, making sure they're flashing those AWPs off the angles, and going for that wall of smokes we saw before, shutting the AWPs out the game. They don't have to take these fights, but they're gifting Space Soldiers the fights they want to take. And Xantares, I mean, fair enough, I guess.
There's confidence and there's cheeky confidence.
I guess he just didn't think anyone was spotting it, or that they didn't have money. Nevertheless, they're just going contact B and Kali X, demolishing them.
Yeah. Beautiful double kill coming out as he's going to rip his way through them, tearing them to shreds with the M4. Smoke gets chucked down to the ground by Freiberg as well, and Engin will get the connection off with the Kalashnikov to slaughter him on the way through. So Space Soldiers still looking dominant into the round. Have Engin, unaware of Mertz's position still, doing the sliggy, just sat in T-spawn for the round, Jake.
Did actually get that tag onto Major there as well, crossing over to CT. So finally hits that cross shot. And actually, if they do decide to go A and challenge Major, this could get quite rough for Space Soldiers. And it looks like they are going to aggress towards B after the smoke goes, get that map control, confirm where the Ts are going to be hitting. Major does have his AWP, so the HP isn't too detrimental for him, but it's a two-pronged assault coming in.
That's out long. Major's seen the barrel. Major's ready, but he misses the shot, Jake. For the reposition as well, he's going to suffer. He'll pay a blood debt as he will go down for it. Kali X takes a fair bit of damage though, leaving on 46 HP, but it will not matter as Mertz's only weapon in his arsenal is that big green gun. The AWP is out.
It's going to have to be the ace as well.
Yeah. Bomb's going to go down. Smokes himself to defend from long. But they're going to be pushing up close on CT. And from long. Oh, he spots him. Mertz. Unfortunate there. Unlucky miss, really. Realizes the player's coming towards ramp, but is hoping the long player will peek him first. He's already on the site. Jake, elevated angle, but he somehow finds the headshot as he'll remove it. Paz gets the trade back. 9-5 now. Space Soldiers picking up a round. It feels like they never should have won. Mertz almost getting himself the ace to win it. Sat in T-spawn for so long into the round. Very influential, but couldn't quite close it down.
Yeah, really nice try from Mertz there. Disgusting shot. Was going for the ace. Yeah. Just about missed out on it. But Heroic, they just let this fall out of their hands completely. Looks to be the 9-6 is on the cards for Space Soldiers. They've got all the money to play with. Heroic not with a terrible buy thanks to that bomb plant. But they seem to just be at a loss when they fight these two orbs. And really nice resurrection, really, from Space Soldiers to get themselves back into this game where it looked like they could have easily just been almost 16-0'd, it felt like, at one stage. There he is, Mertz. He is the only player, really, stepping up since Space Soldiers have been winning those rounds back. He's on an absolute tear at the moment. Seems like the aggression's going to come out towards B once again. And this time they might actually get called off. Moddy is waiting for it, but he just about gets one. But all the info there for Space Soldiers.
Utility going to be chucked across as they do go for the plane towards the site. Engin, but straight through. Tries to hit them hard, Jake. Will only find one kill though before Mertz can trade it back and leave him lifeless on the ground. Major and Paz struggling here to actually get this one, as it will all come down to big man Vinny Paz in a 1 versus 2. Goes for the aggressive face, forcibly removes the lips there off of Mertz and carries on this warpath, trucking up towards the A site. But Esatag will deal a deathly blow, and it will end 10-5.
I feel like that's one of those shots again from Mertz where you always feel like he should be hitting that. It's just holding the angle at long doors, but somehow Paz absolutely destroys him. But nice round to finish it off for Heroic. Stabilized right at the end there, taking it over to 10-5. They can maybe breathe a sigh of relief, really, but they didn't let that half completely spiral out of control after looking so good at the start of this game. However, Space Soldiers, they've got a lot that they can take from that end to the half. You've won 5 rounds in a row and looked pretty convincing when you did it. You do favour your T side on this map, as you said. They always look much stronger. So if they can kick this half off pretty quickly, this could get tasty, Jack.
Especially now they're looking warm as well.
Yeah. They definitely looked unhinged at the start of that game, just uncoordinated. That weird Space Soldiers that we spoke about earlier, who sometimes show up instead of the 5 players that we know. But like you said, yeah, they're hot going into this second half, and it's all to play for. Heroic really want to stamp out this game quickly. They don't want to let Space Soldiers believe they can come back into this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pistol round goes.
It's going to be a big one in terms of the influence of the matchup here for the Turkish side. If they can try and come in strong off the back of a pistol round, they can start to roll away with it, get the AK straight away, knock Heroic to pieces. However, you can never really count Heroic out. They looked very effective in the first 9 rounds of the game. It was the Heroic show. There was no real chance of Space Soldiers. The sleeping giant Zantares has clearly woken up now, Jake, and I don't think he's going to allow such a disgrace to be coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose you really want to slap that AWP straight back into his hands. He was so efficient with that weapon. Once they got it into his hands, he was just tearing them a new one.
It's interesting that Heroic could be trying some of the mind games out there. S-tag in the warm-up, using the auto sniper, Jake.
He's giving it.
Could be trying to tilt them ever so slightly, bringing back those old memories.
I suppose. You have to be somewhat weak-minded, I suppose, to get tilted in warm-up. But yeah, maybe. Interesting tactic. We'll see if it pays off. And here we go. We are getting into the second half here. Space Soldiers looking to build off that momentum they so desperately formed in the end of that first half. And here we go. Taking a bit of mid-control so to start off with. Ooh. Looks like they might even jump through that smoke into the mid-doors.
This is really nice damage done from Asilian though, Jake. 3 players, 4 players even really sort of tagged up there as the push will come out. Flashbang back from Asilian, should blind them on the way up. However, they are just tagging each other. Everyone has taken a beating now on the T side. Paz gets in towards the site initially. The tags are coming out. S-Tag just left on 4 HP as he's forced to recoil away and try and stay alive. An absolute slaughter fest will occur. No matter all the damage that was done, they'll only find 1 singular frag and everyone else will hit the deck. That is a round picked up for Space Soldiers in a matter of seconds, really.
Yeah, really important kill coming in from Zantares once again. He took that player off at the back of B-bomb site instantly, where it could have been a bit of a crossfire for the players running in through window. He was just eliminated out the game, and it all just fell apart for Heroic, who, like you said, had really nice damage at the start of that round, and it looks like they're just going to rush 5 up mid. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it get a bit sketchy for T players, but this time should just be a mow down, and it is.
Yeah, this is the worst case scenario with it, when you run straight headstrong onto the SMGs, feed them all the frags, and give them a ton of money. Engin and Major are going to be able to rack up the stacks. Zantares with the final 2 frags, you'd imagine. Oh, a tasty one there on Mertz.
Interestingly enough, they've got 3 SMGs now. Would be interesting to see if they upgrade any of those. Doesn't look like they are, as they can buy again anyway if they lose this round, but...
You know what though, right? 3 players there, no head armor, Jake. Mertz and Asilian,
there you go.
Just with armor, this could actually work really well.
That's the danger if you decide to buy this early on. And it could definitely come back to bite Heroic here. S-Tag doesn't even have any armor. This could get really rough.
So these Mac 10s, I mean, they can be lethal. You have that movement speed, the capability with it. The MP5 as well could be thrown into that category. How speedy you can be if you can get the headshots off. You can annihilate them quite easily. They take down the first armored player, but Asilian might have no head armor, but he's headstrong when it comes to it. Just obliterates all of them, and that's probably the most chaos we've seen from a CT round.
Yeah, that was an absolute wolf pack out mid, and Asilian's charged straight through the smoke. Luckily was looking straight at someone as he popped out. Just about flicked onto someone and killed him through the wall, I suppose, the edge. Almost looked like the spray helped him as he wasn't completely on him. So yeah, complete chaos there, but Heroic do come out on top, and important round to win as it gets them right onto the front foot here. And again, fast round coming out from Space Soldiers. They want that early long control. They do get it as Heroic conceded. And straight away going for those short smokes.
It's actually quite lucky that that nade got stuck onto Zantares there.
He sort of took all the damage for his team.
Yeah. Jumped on the grenade. As this push coming up towards the A site, they need to be explosive going into this one. Freiburg sits towards the site, waiting in position. The silent assassin begins to spray down. It'll only get 1 kill though before he is dismembered by Zantares. Major with the backstab towards mid as well, causes S-Tag to fall. Flashes over to delay the push from Modi, which he actually does a very good job of. Single-handedly causing chaos there. As the frags will come out in a matter of seconds, they'll all be punished. Major gets the kill on the backstab. The site control is easily taken, and another round gets picked up. Space Soldiers biting back.
Yeah, more importantly, Heroic have been reset here. So although they won that round relatively cleanly cleanly before. They have absolutely no money in the bank. And sort of a disaster, really, as this gives Space Soldiers more than a chance to catch up and even out the scoreline pretty early on into the second half.
Ooh, firefight coming out here. If no one clears pit, Mertz can be very annoying. He could just be a nuisance, but how much trigger discipline does he have? No one's looked, so no one should really clear it at this point. Fires out a couple of warning shots, but they turn on him, Jake. Engin with 9 HP.
You hate to see it.
It's rough.
But Space Soldiers here, they look more than happy to just wolf pack out as a 3 and just absolutely demolish people, trading incredibly effectively so far. And it just looks like an absolute spear thrust into the heart of Heroic, and they just have absolutely no way to counter it. And again, they still can't really buy here. Surely you just save one more. Yep, they paused probably to talk about it, but...
Ooh.
Oh no, technical pause from Space Soldiers, the classic.
To be fair, Space Soldiers have been one of these teams that we've noticed have got a lot of issues with lag normally in Pro League. Someone tends to start lagging. And we do have to wait for that issue to be resolved countless times, so hopefully it's not going to be anything too major, as it seems like the unpause has already come back through, possibly just a slight issue there. Someone's mouse bungee might have caught fire.
Yeah, obviously you need a pause for that. And interestingly enough, Heroic are just going to stack A long. I believe they probably smoked mid-doors, so they didn't make it too obvious, but so far, Space Soldiers, they aren't falling for it. Xantara's just, again, absolute aggression. Every round so far, we've had Space Soldiers players just running out and absolutely giving it. And there we go, they've got the B-bomb site for free. Kaliax has just started mopping them up. Nice try from Heroic. I mean, it's always nice to try and do something clever, I suppose. On a eco round, just gamble the stack, why not? But it doesn't work out for them. And it's going to be 11-10. From the 9-0 scoreline that it was, this has been a game of two halves, really.
And it is sort of an awkward stand. And it is sort of what we've expected to see now. It's, you know, it's not really even surprising. This is what I've said in the past, that Space Soldiers, they can quite happily go down 10 rounds, 9 rounds, however many rounds you're going to be able to pick up. As soon as they get onto that T side, as long as they wake up and they start to reinvigorate themselves, one of the big three seems to actually sort of start to carry the rest of the roster, right? Xantares starting to wake up a bit, 15 frags to 10. Kaliax being the big man right now, though. Clearly the one that's head and shoulders above the competition when it comes down to how much he's performing. And Paz tends to show up as well. So as long as two of the three are performing, they kind of help out and really drag you over the finish line.
Absolutely. Here we go. Space Soldiers, they've slowed it down this round. 4 players towards this A short here. Should be flashing Asilian off here, but it seems like they might just try and trade him up on contact. Maybe don't want to give it away too much, but Asilian is mowing them down. S-Tag picked one up on his own, but Xantares does pretty well to trade 2 back. Still not favourable for the T side.
Gonna be honest though, Jake, these are the sort of rounds that we see Space Soldiers win. Xantares and Engin in a clutch situation like that, it's definitely doable. It is going to be a pretty hard margin to win this one, though. Both towards close short right now, not making any noise as they do ascend their way over. Going to chuck the bomb back to Engin. Xantares has the flashbangs. Engin does not, so he's going to have to pop flash him in. He'll go for the dry face. They can Molotov under as well.
Yeah, I mean, Heroic, they're giving them the bomb plant. So that is something for Space Soldiers to work on. And if Xantares wins that fight, nice play from Mertz, just popping up. Little whack-a-mole. And now this should be undoable for Engin.
If he's going to win this, he needs to get a pick within the next sort of 3 seconds here. And the push comes out, but they actually give it to him, Jake. Both of them face at the same time. You've been able to kill the AWPer. Moddy's low with just 6 HP. Fight. How is he taking the firefight there, Engin?
Oh my word.
Able to win it, Jake, as he overthrows them. The confidence to weave his way around the smoke, eliminate the player towards car, and then just go back for the reface as well. It's absolute lunacy. They went for the double peak. Surely you've got to be killing him there.
I mean, you're talking about players stepping up. Engin pulls it out the bag there. You thought he maybe lost out on that after he just about couldn't kill Moddy with that double spray down. But such nice play to play around that smoke, force the other fight. And just fantastic there from him. You do not see that every day, Jack.
You really don't. And it's interesting as well because Engin tends to be the one in the Space Soldiers roster that is more of the, the clutch man. He has those weird rounds where tactically he can be very smart.
Absolutely. And for Heroic, that could be the kick in the teeth that sort of just breaks their back.
I don't know. Looks like they had a back brace, but they are going to be taken off the top rope. Jake Xantares.
Yeah. He's cleaning it up. Making sure I don't curse them.
And that's the worrying factor, right? Is with Space Soldiers, Xantares really is an X factor that no matter what, you can't count him out. If he's still alive into a round, he can do some unthinkable things, and it won't be the ace. Major will be able to get the elimination over on Modi. But they now take the lead. It's going to be 12-11. And Xantares now getting himself to 21 frags, 137 ADR.
22 flashes for Major.
Doing the Jonta. It's crazy, though. The Xantares has now been able to bring this game back. Look, tied now with KaliX at this point. If you think about how many rounds that's over for KaliX, and Xantares has just closed that gap in, what, 3 or 4 rounds?
Yeah, it's been as soon as he whipped out that AWP on the CT side that he's just been on an absolute tear. Here we go, once again, he's opening things up.
However, they're going to shut him down. It's weird that Asilian has been sort of the true driving force behind Heroic into a lot of these rounds as well. It feels like he's necessary to get 3 or 2 rounds into the, kills into the round rather, or things do go pretty south for them relatively quickly.
Absolutely, Jack. This half, I'm pretty sure he's been the only one to get those multi-kills opening into the round. And at the same time, it's still not bad trades coming in for Space Soldiers. Sure, Engine's on pretty low health, but the 3v3 does have to favour the T side in terms of rotations for the CTs. However, it does look like they've called it right. But S-Tag is going to re-aggress on short, so this is an incredibly important fight for both teams. And he's caught his pants down. The smoke's just gone, and he's looked away. Mertz is probably going to get mollied off here.
Yep. Straight onto him.
That could even just be a save. Just straight out from S-Tag, just not watching short, even though Mertz was holding the cross anyway. Really questionable there.
What is the call going to be? It looks like they are backing off and probably just going to go for the save here. It seems like they will.
And if you're Heroic, when do you just start feeling like there's no way you can win this game? Everything's sort of against you. Because you're 9-0 up, you're on cloud 9, and then everything just starts going completely pear-shaped. Nothing has worked for them since Space Soldiers started winning rounds. It's been a disaster.
And if you think about it like that, as you just said, they won 9 rounds on the trot. Since then, they've been able to win 2 rounds, which is crazy, because Space Soldiers, they've brought it back to the position they're now in. They are 13-11 here into this matchup. And that is the resurgence they have. It is crazy how much firepower potential just carries Space Soldiers over the marks. Another pause going to come in, a technical once again, so possibly another issue plaguing the Turkish side. For Heroic, this could actually work as a bit of a momentum break, potentially.
Yeah, it's quite surprising that Heroic themselves haven't paused, as we've seen them sensible enough to pause when they're winning the game. When you've lost the game and things are spiraling out of control as they are, it's really odd not to see any pauses coming in. Have they just lost complete grasp of the game?
Yeah.
What are their emotions like? They almost seem down and out at the moment. Going to be a rough buy at the moment. They all had about 3-5. They had the AWP. But still, this is going to be a rough buy, and they're doing it. I don't really understand why, seeing as if they lose this, it almost guarantees they have to play for overtime.
So we've got a FAMAS and AUG, an M4 and an AWP. And I believe the last player will probably just be rocking a CZ there, because it doesn't seem like there is another rifle in play.
I suppose it's not the end of the world if you've got 4 rifles, but it doesn't look like anyone's got a kit. Can't imagine the utility's all that great.
Well, we can't see much of it. Flashbangs potentially there. 1 or 2 thrown in, but it's not really going to be a great buy. And at this point, you run the risk of Space Soldiers. I mean, if they win that 14th round, Jake, they're essentially going to get the 15th for free. It's a scary fact that they can really sort of close this game out now, and Heroic wouldn't have even had a chance to slow them down. This pause could at least try and help things out, right? Sure. It's going on for a bit longer period of time now. It is actually taking a while to resolve the issue, rather than last time it was very quick. So this could start to play with them. Because if they're not just going to walk back into it, burst into a site, and kick the doors down like they have been, Heroic might actually have a chance to set themselves up getting into it.
It does feel a bit odd how Heroic haven't managed to win a convincing gun round so far, but they still believe they can win one with rubbish guns, essentially, rather than just waiting one more round and having the full utility, and maybe they can execute their game plan to the full extent rather than just trying to squeeze out something in a desperation attempt. I'm sure they'll make me eat my words, but it just seems a bit, I don't know, like they're rushing into the situation, just forcing the buy. But in that sense, maybe they just don't want Space Soldiers to get that close to the win. They don't. They want this buffer, and they want to close it out as soon as, because it's really slipped out of their hands.
What's actually quite scary as well is, as you can see there, it looks pretty evident that it's just going to be the 5-rifle setup from Space Soldiers, right, going into this next round. So if we just saw that raw aggression, where we've seen the bursts coming out, really sort of headstrong, high-tempo play into the round, I don't think Heroic will be ready for that at all.
No. Like, they have that AWP in play, which they're going to have to... He's going to have a huge impact. He's been probably their star player in this game. He had that almost clutch earlier on in the game. Since then, hasn't really got going. So he's going to have a lot of impact here, and he's going for a bit more aggression. Just about maybe saw his feet, but there's all 5 players rushing up A short here. Like you said, explosive from Space Soldiers.
This is rough, because they have no read on this as well. Mertz would have had a small inkling, but wouldn't have known the full extent of what was about to occur. The manpower that has overthrown the defense in the A site in a matter of seconds. Major and Zantares beheading people as they are the executioners towards the A site, Jake. S-Attack from a substantial distance with the MP9, the only one to find a frag so far, and he is battering people, leaving them quite low. Kaliex and Engin, both moments away from death, but look at the confidence on them. They're taking the firefight. They do not give a damn, Jake. They know they're going to win this.
Yep, hunting down Mert rapidly. S-Tag, he's saving an MP9, so what? That was a lovely strat from Space Soldiers. Exactly what you said. Just explosive. And for Heroic, they fully took long. They got smoked off, and you could see the split-second decision where they had to decide, do we play retake, or do we just go for this now? You see Freiburg charge through the smoke. They all sort of got traded equally until it all just fell apart. They had one kit on S-Tag, probably forced their hand into saying, we don't want to let them get the bomb down. And Space Soldiers, that played straight into their hands. They want them to take those fights. They want them to rush through those walls, that wall of smoke. And it's played out perfectly, and Heroic finally taking the pause. Because now, they have no money. You have to play for overtime now, or you have to put in a scrappy force, which is going to be even worse than the last round. And like I said, they haven't won a gun round convincingly yet, so I don't understand why you think you would with pistols.
And that was what was scary, right? Because
okay, there's an AWP in play.
Okay, we've got the AWP. We've got a FAMAS there, I believe, as well. Other than that, I can't really see too much.
It's probably similar to what we just had, with a few more SMGs sprinkled around. But if Space Soldiers...
UMP, FAMAS, MP5, FAMAS? Oh, saved AK.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's just as bad as the last round. It didn't go at all well for them.
It's quite fun, isn't it, trying to guess what weapons they have?
Yeah.
Staring at the models. It's interesting. It's like a little guessing game.
Do we get any points?
Potentially. We get prizes at the end of the season.
Oh. Vasilian. He's confident enough to take this fight, and he does actually win it. No trade available. He's hanging around here. S-Tag shouldn't get caught with a nade out. Mertz does trade him, though. But Vasilian just hanging around for far too long.
It's scary when you see Zantares in this position as well. It's almost as if there's a little switch in his head that he flips, turns into really just a robot, and he'll just clear angles. He knows where to look, and he'll just hold those positions, Jake. Crosshairs always ready. You can see, look, already the adjustment coming out. Oh. It doesn't matter what you do, you can't kill him.
The long-range spray is beautiful. Going for the ace as well.
Oh, he knows. Ooh. All the attacks with a Glock. No, Mertz with a headshot in close range. No ace for you today. Denies the 5. But his audio is not loud enough, Jake.
It's a new bomb sound and everything. How's no one told him?
You'd hear the bomb.
He still thinks it's A, by the way.
Is he playing with no sound?
Oof. He's confused, Jack. He is confused.
He still thinks it's A.
I mean...
Is his headset on back to front?
Potentially, but How's his 4 other teammates not screaming at him? There we go. He's got the call now.
I think it's B, by the way.
B, by the way. Someone just typed it, maybe.
Yeah.
B, by the way.
My bad.
Rough.
That's really
I wasn't going for it anyway, boys. I was saying. Wow. And again, look at the money. Heroic. They've got 3 players that can't buy. They can't buy properly, at least. And this has just been diabolical from them. They were 9-0 up, Jack.
Since that point, they won 2 rounds, and that is all they've won, was those 2 rounds, Jake. They're stuck on 11. We can see the auto snipers coming out now as well.
Don't do anything, but always nice.
Do you know what? It always baffles me whenever I see that, because they'll go for the auto sniper investment, but they never use it for the cross. They just shoot at the door. It's like, why wouldn't you just use the auto sniper like you would actually use it? Xantares is just an animal, isn't he?
Yep, he's still on a tear, running through mid doors, getting that early pick once again. And they're just setting themselves up beautifully to take this game.
He's an absolute monster.
It is lovely to see once he gets going.
And that's what's crazy as well, because it feels like we haven't really had those huge performances from him in a while. And whenever you see a slow start, it feels like you're not going to have it. But this time, definitely wanted to impress, and he needs to. If you think about it, I mean, after this map, right, they've got 3 more games this season. You need to try and get as many points as physically possible to secure yourself that place at Odense. If anyone's going to do it for him, Xantares stepping up would definitely be the extra cherry on top that Space Soldiers would need.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into this round, it's on Freiburg, really. He sees the Shadow pre-fires and gets 2 here. Gives them more than a chance, actually. Mertz missing another easy shot. Although he's played well this game, it's just not good enough when his team really needs it there. They planted for short. Xantares is still alive. This could still be pretty rough for Heroic here.
Xantares, he won't care that he's on 4 HP, but he wouldn't be ready for Modi's attack there on towards the site. Paz with the assault does eliminate tag, but yeah, that's got to be the defuse coming through. There's no time. He can't arrive there quick enough. That will be the round picked up. However, look at the bank on Space Soldiers, Jake.
Yep. Even compared to Heroic, who, even winning the round, have 3 players on around 3-6. And it's still not an ideal situation for Heroic. It's hard to see how they're going to claw 3 rounds back out of this. Where Space Soldiers, they can buy for more or less the rest of the game once that loss bonus starts getting going. So it's going to be a real slog for Heroic to get straight back into this game. Not an easy task. And they've still failed to string any rounds together since that 9-0 lead at the start of the game. They're going to have to if they want to go to overtime here, Jack.
They really are. Heroic, can they actually do anything going into this? Xantares, 28 frags to his name, giving him more time to drop the full 30 into this one, Jake.
Yeah, again, the Wolf Pack coming into effect. 4 players for Space Soldiers taking A short. Looks like they may set up and do some A smokes here. Mertz getting nice and aggressive here. Lovely shot there. He could be punished, and he's punished before he gets a second frag.
Ooh, Asilian. The overthrow coming out from the Famous will be able to find the ferocious headshot there on Paz, but Xantares, Kaliex, and Engin remain, and these 3 can definitely have a flamboyant approach to the game.
Yeah, important fight coming out here at A-Long. This could decide the game right here.
Engin. Will he have the drop here on the opponent, finds the kill. Freiburg is done for. Xantares as well will tackle the first man and eliminate the second. It is all on S attack, but I don't think this one is going to be excellent for him. Xantares with a 30 bomb, as we said, just wanted that extra round to pad it out, finds all of the kills that are necessary. It's as if it was planned from the start, Jake. Space Soldiers. They go down 9 rounds, but from that point onwards, they only drop 2 and close it out, winning every round in a row nearly.
I honestly don't remember the last time I've seen anything like that. Just 2 completely different games almost. Well, it was, what, a 16-2 or a 16-3 to Space Soldiers in the end if you want to just ignore those first 9 rounds. Those were just warm-up. Yeah.
That's what's crazy, right? Is even if you think about it like that, to get to a 9-2 scoreline, that was maybe like 15 minutes of a game because the rounds were so rapid. It was literally just Heroic making them. They were trash.
Yeah, exactly.
They had no way to do anything against them. As soon as they get on that T side, or even just as soon as Xantares picks up the orb,
you whipped out the double orb and it was just done. Game over. Heroic were completely flabbergasted as to what to do. Had no answer. They look pretty poor, honestly. The fact that you just can't get yourself back into the game after being so dominant in the early stages almost looked like they lost faith in themselves. You know, we saw them forcing into buys that they didn't really have to. And yeah, just catastrophic end to the game for Heroic there.
It's crazy as well because Xantares dropping 30 frags. I think he had like 3 kills up until the 10th round. So from that point to then go on.
On the 9th round, he had 1 kill.
Yeah.
And it was from there. He got 30 frags.
And it was a ridiculous manner he did it in as well. It's absolutely show-stopping to see him performing. And what's scary is you're going to fear that. For Heroic, you're going into your 4th map of the day. You're going to start to feel a little bit drained now. That's a lot of CS with no real downtime in between. And they have been long games as well. And you're facing off against a team that look absolutely flawless, Jake. It's going to be scary. The second map will be up next after the break, though. We'll leave you with the replays for now.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.